Hey guys, today I'm gonna tell you what's coming for us in the Land of Dawn. It's gonna be a big change in equipment. Don't forget to put your like on the video and we will start. Let's begin with the first change. They will rename Winter Truncheon to Winter Crown. Instead of 60 magic power, it will be 60 adaptive attack. Instead of 25 physical defense, it will be 5% cooldown reduction. This means that this item can be used on both magical and physical heroes, like in our example on the Balmond. The cooldown time of the effect is 100 seconds.
Yeah, boy.
They want to add a new item to the game. It's Malefic Gun. The attributes of the item you can see on the screen. This item is positioned for marksmen to increase the range of their attacks and keep them safe in team fights. When you click on the item, you activate the unique ability. Increase your attack range by 15% for 2 seconds. As long as you hit an enemy, the effect will be constantly renewing. But when you stop, the ability will go into cooldown. Look at the attack range with the item and without. Malefic Gun has a unique passive effect. Basic attacks give 10% movement speed for 1 second. This item also works on the fighters. In our example, you can see how the range of the attacks changed. Another one item will be added to the game, and that is Pandoras Box. This item is for mages. The attributes of the item you can see on the screen. The idea of this item is to penetrate heroes with a lot of health points. Pandoras Box will deal true damage equal to 1% of the enemy's HP. In our example, you can see how much damage will be done if the hero has a small amount of health. By the way, the Pandoras Box effect is similar to Cecilian's ultimate. Let's increase the enemy's HP and check how much damage the item will do. Consequently, the damage we do has increased. In my view, this item will be very popular as it's good in using against tanks and fighters. Move on to the next item, and this one's actual for assassins. This item is named Skypiercer, and has the lowest price at 1,500 battle points. The item has a passive ability. You gain 10 stacks of lethality for each enemy you kill, and lose 8 stacks for each of your deaths. You can get max 70 stacks, and the more stacks you have, the earlier the execution effect activates. In the example, we can see how this effect works. As moment the enemy has less than 5% health points, we can see that the enemy is getting hit with true damage. Let's check on Leslie's ultimate, what happens with full stacks and without. Skypiercer has an adaptive attack and abilities, so it can be used by magical heroes as well as heroes with physical attacks.
Oh my God!
The next changes will apply to the item Fleeting Time. The main attributes will be changed, and Fleeting Time will become more adaptable and tanky. The effect is still the same, but now it can be used by all heroes. The example of Saber's ultimate, you can see that when you kill an enemy, the ultimate's cooldown time is reduced by 30%. In the example of Martis, we can see that each enemy kill reduces the cooldown time. I think a lot of fighters have always wished they had this item in their equipment, and soon it will be reality. And then we will talk about the glowing wand. The old magical item Necklace of Durance will be removed from the game, and its effect will be added to the item Glowing Wand. Soon, this item not only burns the enemy, but will reduce the shield and HP regen on him. The Bloodlust Axe item will be removed from the game, and its attributes will be in the updated item Queen's Wings. The unique ability of the item will be changed too. If your health points drop below 40%, you'll get a shield and reduce the skill cooldown by 2 seconds. But this effect will have a cooldown time of 60 seconds. Next, we'll take a look at the item Clock of Destiny. The difference between the new and old attributes you see on the screen. The unique passive ability of the item will also be modified. When you deal magic damage, you gain stacks of hybrid defense. Each stack increases the defense from 5 to 12 points. Another unique passive regenerates 20% HP and mana for 2 seconds after leveling up. Whether this change will be effective, we'll see. Next comes the item Dominance Ice. The attributes of the item you can see on the screen. Let's compare the two versions, the old item and the new item. In the old version, the passive effect is triggered when enemies are standing nearby. In the new version, to trigger the effect of the item you need to hit the enemy. And the slowdown effect will be higher, from 70% to 80%. These changes do not ruin the item in any way, and it will stay actual in any equipment build. Another big change is coming for the item Blood Wings. The magical power of the item will be decreased. A comparison of the old version and the new version is shown on the screen. The new release has less damage than the old one. The shield we get from the item will be changing. In the new version, the shield will be bigger and will be 800 health points and 10% of magic power. In addition, the price of the item will be dropped to 2100 battle points.
You could do so. You want.
Update item Holy Crystal increases the item's magic power to 185. The price will grow accordingly to 3000 battle points. You will need to collect 3 magic wands to get the item. Talk about the new changes of item Thunderbelt. The attributes of the item you can see on the screen. But they modified the passive skill too. Every 4 seconds while using a basic attack, you deal true damage to an enemy, slow them to 99%, and gain a stack. These effects are shown in the example, and about the stacks we need to tell you more about them. Each stack adds 1 point to the hybrid defense. That means every 4 seconds you can get a stack from a base attack hit and increase your magic and physical defense by 1. Now you see a defense without the stacks. Now let's start collecting stacks and look at the hero's stats with 2 stacks of the item. Our defenses have increased in accordance with the number of stacks. The most interesting thing is that designers have not put a limit on the amount of stacks yet.
A few moments later.
I collected 173 of them. Let's check 3 variants. I think that this item is unbalanced because it can be collected by any class and has no limits on the amount of magic and physical defense. The next item will be Twilight Armor. It's also expected to be updated in the next patch. Let's compare the 2 versions. In the old version, we see a visual shield from the item, and the damage we took is equal to 851 true damage. In the new version, visual shield shows up in the moment of hit, and the damage we deal is 1083. Is it buff or nerf of the item? Write in the comments.
Oh my god!
And the last thing I wanted to tell you about is a new component for items. This component has adaptive attack, that is, magical and physical attack, depending on the attack of the hero, and will be needed for items Skypiercer, Winter Crown, Fleeting Time, Queen's Wings. Write your views about upcoming items changes in the comments of this video, and I will be glad to see you on the lands of Dawn.